recent newspaper articles talks about the vacant lot where the bones were found. The article says that the property was being sold to Mr. Green, manager of the Richview Community Bank. He plans to build apartments for the seniors on that site. He is quoted as saying, "We'll use the bulldozers to clear off the lot as soon as the purchase is complete. Then start building the apartments. We'll have to hurry to finish construction before this winter." Okay. This book about Native Americans has a map of the Richview area. It shows that 10,000 years ago, ice people lived here, and the Native Americans, and then Native Americans. European people only came here a few hundred years ago. Like you, Jennifer. And your brother. And practically everyone else in this game. Let's go see Mr. Green. Mr. Green, the bank manager, looks like he's really worried about something. "Hello, children. I'm afraid I don't have much time to talk. Where's some old bones have been found on a property where we're going to build some apartments for seniors. Since scientists need to study what was found, I must stop work on the project for now. Things have been delayed already because I agreed to help out some of the neighbors. I let Mr. Arnold have 2 extra weeks to harvest the vegetables he's been growing on the lot, and I promised Moriarty that we'd even help him move his fort. I know it was right to give Mr. Arnold and Mark some more time, and I have no doubts about how important it is to give time to the scientists to study the area. But the delays are costing me thousands of dollars. I'll tell you something else. I think these bones are fakes, planted by someone to delay construction of the apartments. You never know what lengths people will go to stop progress. If I can prove the skeleton isn't real, we'll go to bulldozing everything but the beans in the fort tomorrow." Well, Mark would be losing either way because they'd have to get rid of his fort for the bones, so I don't think it's him. And it's yellow, so unless we find something incriminating about getting yellow bones. Let's get the official police report from Chief Barnes. Hey, Chief Barnes. "Curious about Mark Murray's bones, eh? I'm not surprised you're a young lady. Young ladies are interested in many things about men. Well, we faxed a photo of the skeleton to State Capitol and we just got an answer back. The experts confirmed what Dr. Knox told us. If the bones are real, it's a pretty big find, but we don't know for sure until the scientists get here next week. Until then, we've asked Mr. Green not to use his bulldozer to clear the lot and build the apartments for seniors. We need to preserve the site for scientists." In the police photo, exposed parts of the skeleton look lighter than the dark ground. There are no footprints near the bones. Interesting. But completely normal. Dim, 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 dim. Hello? As usual, Mrs. Arnold is here working at the Richview Historical Society. And look, there's Dr. Knox, the dentist, flipping through a scientific magazine. That's not how you read a magazine. Or flip through one. "This skeleton will really put Richview on the map. If they're real, that is. I'm still trying to figure that out. The experts from the state capitol will come down to do some tests. We'll know the results in 2 weeks, and then we'll know for sure if I need to yawn. Or if you need to yawn. If the bones are the real thing. One thing I know for sure, those bones have been in that vacant lot for quite a while. The dirt around the skeleton was packed solid the way soil gets after many, many winters. If the bones had been newly buried, the soil around would have been much looser. The bones sure look like a real Ice Age human skeleton. That would make them about 1,000 years old. They're accurate in every detail. No one has ever found them around here before. Now the skeleton would be a museum replica, a copy made for museums to display and scientists to study. But this issue of Sacred Artifacts says there's no Ice Age skeletons available." My, isn't this exciting? I've just returned from a 2-day conference about state history. Now Dr. Knox tells me we may have an important archaeological site right next to my house. Dr. Knox is here doing some research about the bones. He likes to read Sacred Artifacts, the archaeology magazine. In fact, I just bought the newest edition for him from home. Won't Mr. Arnold be amazed about the find? I must tell him to look carefully in his garden. It's only a few feet from where the skeleton was found. If he finds any new bones, they should not be disturbed. Archaeologists can be so much more from ancient artifacts in the area that surround are not being interfered with. Mrs. Arnold's new issue of the Sacred Artifacts has an ad for museum replicas of the famous ancient skeletons. The replicas are very accurate and made from white clay. Well, sounds like it actually is a real skeleton. So let's make it out that it is one. Yellow and old looking. That. That. And, this. You dug up the right clues. Are the bones for real? If they are, choose a picture of the bones on the next screen. If they're fakes, point out the person you think is pulling a fast one. They're real!
You figured it out.
You're right! No one had any reason to fake this discovery. Those bones are for real.
Let's check the evidence.
Thank you, Jennifer. At first, we thought that the bones might be fakes, but who'd take the trouble to bury a fake skeleton and bury it in a field? We thought that Mark Moriarty would have planted the bones next to the fort, so Mr. Green's bulldozers wouldn't tear it down. Maybe Mr. Arnold wanted to delay the bulldozers to save his price-winning bean plants he was growing in the vacant lot. If the lot had been cleared, the beans would have been destroyed before they could ripen and compete in this county fair. But Mr. Green told us that he already planned to let Mr. Arnold finish the harvest in his garden, and he said he would even help Mark Moriarty move his fort. Neither of them had any reason to plant a fake skeleton on the lot. Dr. Knox identified the bones as a skeleton from the Ice Age, which would make them about 10,000 years old. Dr. Knox noticed that the bones had been encased in hard ground. He said takes time for a soul to be packed down like that, so we know that no one had buried the bones there in the last few days. We saw that the bones were stained and discolored, just like real buried bones in the archaeology book, and the archaeology magazine showed that copies of Ice Age skeletons like this aren't being made for schools and museums. Mark Moriarty was telling the truth. No one was trying to stop Dr. Green's project. The baffling bones are real. Sacre bleu! Whoa, let's get global. It says here that the whole world is looking at Ridgeview because of how Resulka proved the bones are real. It really is a major scientific discovery. And we played a part in it. This deserves a page in the Eli scrapbook like every single one of our cases.
Excellent. Wow.
Cow fossil found on the moon. Or fossil cow found on the moon. Either way, cow fossil. World hails discovery. Bones 10,000 years old. The discovery of an Ice Age human uncovered in a vacant lot in Ridgeview has been hailed by archaeologists as a major find. Many specialists are flying to the Ridgeview site. About 1,000 years ago, a young man was killed during a bison hunt, Dr. Knox declared. His friends and family buried him here. We will study his bones, and then a group of Native Americans who may be his kin will rebury him properly. Resulka provided vital advice, Chief Barnes said. Resulka showed that the evidence indicated by the bones was authentic, and we were able to protect them and summon experts to study them. Yay! Let's call that a case. So see you in the next video. Bye bye.